the heights of that where it's required. That it was that is it's not that tall.
I'll reach out to you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it'll just take a few minutes.
Did I see you already?
You did. You did.
Yeah, that has been asked many times.
Well,
I asked it. If it was asking to find out for sure that they.
I know my towers are 130 foot. Well, these towers are 130 foot tall, and I had to have lights on them.
Okay.
The one at the airport, I ended up having to put 4 lights around it because they built it so high that we were above the limit. So we couldn't put one on top because FAA was going to bring me over the coals. So we put 4, one on each side.
Yeah, that but I remember Andy telling me what the height of that tower was and what the height of the required for the light, and we're under like 10 or 15 foot. That it's.
I just out of curiosity.
Right. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I seen it coming in. I'm thinking, well, I got to say something Richard.
I've had some people ask me how's come the lights on the tower are on, and I'm like, well,
in order to replace the lights that we had were halogen lights and we couldn't get them to completely seal anymore. They were getting older, and the cost to replace all those lights was and then up there in the air was. It was just out of the world.
You just don't want nobody to know where they are at night. That's what it is.
That Andy, I was told that if anybody's flying that low, they're way below where they're supposed to anyway. They're
you never say never anymore.
right.
You never say never.
You guarantee you have to say never.
Yeah.
I do remember one time when I was driving north on 19 here from south of town coming up, and that it was really foggy, and as I was coming up, there was a plane flew over our heads just, and it seemed like it was about ready to run its wheels over the top of our car, but it was following the road. The pilot probably had visual flight rule.
My question is, why is he flying? Whether it was that bad?
Yeah, he's probably he probably flew into it and didn't realize he made a mistake.
Yeah.
But that day it was like, ooh, 19 turns up here. I hope he realizes that he's following. He knew he was following 19. Well, he'll see 30 out there when he crosses that.
You know, there was a guy that guy was talking about. He had to call his wife. They were coming back. He was a comedian. He was coming back from a gig, and they were landing to get a deer. He called his wife and said, "You aren't going to believe this." She said, "What?" We hit a deer with the airplane. He says, "Were you on the ground?"
Honey, I hope you were.
No, it was a reindeer.
Or were you there? Or was this at Christmas? Maybe it was Christmas. And he ran over the dancer.
The Natalie Police Department used to go up to the testing track west of the south end, up there, and they would do their required high-speed drills and stuff like that. Police chief had a fairly new squad car. He's running about 130 mile an hour, and a deer jumped out from there, totaled the car. And it was great because they caught it on the dash cam.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mike said, "Oh shit, bam!"
One of the guys I went to school with, his name is Wendell Rust, he lives just north of town here. He's got his own airstrip. And we had class reunions in this place, he takes people on plane rides. And one of them 5 years ago, they were coming down and landing, and they was taxiing up the runway and hit a deer, broke it in half. Didn't damage the plane, but the plane's grounded until he gets all the inspections.
Oh yeah. And go through control plane.
Yeah, I had a guy at work at Donnelly's that flies out of the Mentone Airport and he gives lessons. That he gave lessons to a whole number of people in Donnelly's but he has a couple planes of his own. One of them was I think it was a 1939. It was a tail dragger. That it was great big wheels, and it has very few instruments on it. That I was told that he's had that in just about every cornfield or every field in the county where he's landed and talked to farmers or he's run out of gas and it comes down and to a farm so he can get some gas and
Well, I picked up a couple people out of Big Gas and didn't survive. And those are not fun.
Chris, did you get that item letter I forwarded to you?
You ever watch those programs? Landing up there in Alaska. You come in there with those big balloon tires, landing on a sandbar.
Oh man, I was getting used to that.
I was just gonna get up and dance to it.
Looks like I better move over. You ain't gonna bite me, are you?
No.
Now this guy right here.
I moved over one.
Okra planning grant, okra support letters.
But that guy that I was talking about, Nathan, he was able to he had his instructor's license for instrument flight rule that he could teach people to fly it by instrument rather than not just he didn't just have his license to fly it, but he was authorized to teach it. And he worked at Donnelly's as a material handler. Huh?
Nathan Faulkner?
Yes.
My cousin.
He's
His
got
dad used to fly for Donnie's too.
yeah. I got a story to tell you about Nathan in there.
So many stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. How are the boys doing? I haven't seen much of it. Hey, good evening.
Good day.
Hey, hi. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Just waiting on the snow.
Yeah.
Man, I will be out of this tomorrow night. Who's saying 6 cents?
Okay. Can I trust you right with me? I said, her granddaughter's going to be along with us to the chaperone.
Now it's his daughter, Chris, that I was working.
That's fun.
Let your daughter have
I
a
think
maybe.
he did. Maybe he did. She's a good girl.
I think I had a Kleenex.
When the public hearing for that about being sound.
Okay.
When we get to that, I don't know where that's at. I would just say tonight's the public hearing on the ordinance. We're gonna open it up now for
What's
public
right here?
comments. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, that's your thing. Ordinance for speeding is what we're talking about.
Yeah, for it to be 20 miles throughout the county. It says in parks it'd be 10.
I heard back from him, but he didn't address the amount.
No.
I'm not worried about this.
Yeah, this just says any person violation
Leave it
will
up to
fine
them.
not less than 50, but not more than 150. But I would just open it, and if anyone wants to comment, you can make comments and then we're done. You can close it, and then the council can make a motion to pass it.
Okay.
Sounds like we got a good weather maker coming in, so.
There's something else I want to talk to you about. Well, that's a whole. We can't go after.
Huh?
The, we can't go after that flow meter. As far as out there,
My
we're
eyes
going off.
I bet it's 3 o'clock.
They were out there and did an inspection, and she wasn't gonna it's up for renewal in 26 permit.
Looking down a little
And they're
bit.
gonna make all facilities have it.
Tell him I said hi.
He's on the bed.
So
Hmm?
He's on the bed all
it's
the time.
was worried about you because
It's mine's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I understood about ALS.
That's unusual.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
Okay.
Yeah, his back muscles
Yeah.
and muscles won't let his arm straight.
Tell him, give him my greetings.
And then trying to get quotes from any other providers.
It's hard to watch.
That's what Ashbury was.
Yeah. Okay.
If there's anywhere from some
Guy
Mhm.
over at the
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's sort of their department. As far as,
three
I
and
mean, it's just like I just had to approve
it's happening.
the panel board out there at the lift stations, T&T's building.
I'm pretty sure
Everything's happening, everything's happening with what, strokes and heart attacks.
Parkinson's and everything.
Mm.
Yeah, Parkinson's.
The pump
Yeah.
order finally came.
And even some are getting old, the
So, I
Alzheimer's
mean,
that they
we don't
have
start
done
back
for age.
Yeah.
But it's
as far as that goes.
Mm.
Yeah, and then what do? You know what I mean?
Sad.
Yeah.
of course, back 100 years ago,
Right.
people didn't live past 60 years old because they gave their heart life.
True.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
They're not concerned with chemo. Well, they just want to treat symptoms.
Yeah, anymore, it used to be that
Too much money in the treatment.
yeah, it used to be, oh, hey, let's make some cures. And they did, hey, the money's in treat, not cure. That's
Yeah,
That's
I'm not
sad.
further behind than I was.
Yeah, you really.
that's our pharmaceutical industry.
Yep. Take a pill.
And the sad thing is they're really strong behind Congress in both sides that they finance everybody. So
All right, let's
everybody's
go ahead
in
and call this meeting to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first thing on here, we're going to approval of the previous minutes from January 14th. Did everybody get a chance to read over these?
Yes,
Did anybody find any discrepancies or anything?
I did not see anything. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as read.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry. Wake out.
Wait a minute. Oops. Okay, I just signed your spot.
I can sign yours, it doesn't matter.
I
It,
guess
it doesn't matter.
As long as it's signed.
we'll put a slash there.
As long as it's signed.
All right, gonna move on to accounts payable vouchers.
And that is in the amount of $152,589.64.
I make a motion that we approve those.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next on here, we'll move on to clerk treasurer's business.
And it has been a very nice winter, you can tell, because this is the first adjustment of winter, and that is a pipe burst in the trailer park. And we would like to adjust wastewater in the amount of $264.54.
I make a motion.
That's
we
pretty
approve
good
that.
for a big cold winter at a cold spot. I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. I do have, some opioid money that we need to, I just need your permission to send it on to the, fires. I assume we want the firemen to have it again for, training and,
Equipment.
equipment, yeah, and medicines. If you look at your fund report, um, opioid distribution is $789.32, and the restricted, which can only be used for medications, is $97.20. And all I need is your permission, a motion to send it on to the
I make a
fire
motion,
department.
we send the 789.32 to the Etna Township Fire Department, first responders, fire and rescue.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then the one other thing I have is Wildman would like us to sign a service agreement, and right now all we have is the mats and the rags, and that's all they're asking to sign for.
Do we ask Richard if he's gonna wanna be put on there, or where are we at on that?
It's been so much better to get them from Amazon, and because they have FR rated clothes and
Okay.
everything, and just go from there.
This is for the rugs up there and the rugs down here.
The mats, yeah,
Okay. Mats out at Joyce Treatment
the
Plant.
rags out at the rags at the shop
Right in
and
the
the
shop.
mats here.
What's the total?
It's different every time, but it's usually around 75 a
month?
week.
A week?
Yeah. I mean, if you choose not to, we can just get our own mats and lay them out.
Then
Sweep them.
they won't be
What do you
cleaned
wanna
on a
do?
regular basis.
Right,
and-
they won't be, huh?
What do you wanna do?
I mean, it's up to you. I present it. If you guys don't wanna do it, that's,
I mean, it's-
that's
I
okay
mean-
with me.
I mean, it's as long as they come on a regular basis. That there was one time that they weren't coming real regularly, and and like the park rugs were getting kind of nasty, and that's the whole thing, is that the rugs up there, it's good to have them changed. That's the first thing that people see when they come in.
Right.
That if we vacuum them, that's one thing, but once they get really nasty, they need to be changed. So I think it's worth it that if we want to keep renting the building.
So this is just like, this is
so-
a weekly bill right here, is
Yeah,
what this one is?
and that is not for the rugs at the park building.
Oh,
That is just for these rugs
okay.
and that one, and then the rags
Oh,
at the shop
at the
for
shop.
Richard to
Is
wash.
the- Are who's doing the rugs at the park building?
They're being cleaned.
They're being cleaned. Yeah, I was just up there and checked it. I mean, you walk in there and it smells clean, so
Yeah,
Okay.
as far as that
yeah.
goes.
So it's just these. So
Okay.
I make a motion, just go ahead and approve it.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
that is all I have.
There's someone he needs to
Oh,
sign on that.
Oh
or
yeah, if you could sign it, then
all of us, or just him?
authorized representative. So that would be
That would be Heath.
thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I
And
have.
that's all you have?
Yep.
Okay, we move on to ordinances and resolutions, and Nick, we have,
Yeah, at the meeting last month, there was discussion by the council about amending the ordinance that talks about the speed limit within the town. So we published notice for today to be a public hearing for the council to consider this ordinance. So this is a copy of the amended ordinance. And this says if it's a public park within the town, the speed limit would be 10 miles per hour. If it's a public road within the town that's owned by the town of Etna Green, then the speed limit would be 20 miles per hour. So this doesn't have any impact on State Road 19 or Old 30 or New 30. And then it talks about if somebody violates, they can be fined between $50 and $150. So you should open this up first for a public hearing, and then after that, the council could vote on it.
So we're gonna open this up for a public hearing.
Yeah.
And does anybody have anything to say about this or want to talk about it? Changing the speed limits in town to 20 miles per hour on all streets, as far as that goes, except for State Road 19 and New 30, Old 30. You know what I mean? Those are different. Those aren't our streets as far as that goes. The parks would be 10 miles per hour as far as that. So
Who's gonna police it?
because of the sheriff's department.
Okay. Cause I know for some reason Railroad Street, they run that like a drag strip.
It happens all over town. I mean, we're still watching them blow this stop sign. You know what I mean? It happens. So
Has anyone talked to the sheriff's department about whether or not they'll enforce that? Because they're real big on enforcing just, like governmental law. They don't like enforcing town.
Susie's been in contact with the
I already
sheriff's department
contacted
as
him.
far as that goes and talked to
Did they
them.
say that they're going to enforce our speed limits?
Yep.
I've spoken with House.
Because that was the main thing that they stood up on.
The county officer that I spoke with said that they cannot enforce a speed limit in town because we don't have one, especially on High Street.
Now we're gonna have one.
Speed limit there.
And we'll have it posted.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put some different signs up. But yeah, we've got different streets that are problems. So if we just go ahead and make it flat out, every street's 20 miles an hour. If the cops are sitting here, and like I said, they do need to do their job. I mean, I see them, watch them sit up here at the park and still watch semis roll the corner, and I'm like, why isn't that guy getting a ticket?
Yeah.
So I don't know if, like I said, if we need to poke the bears a little bit more.
We will need to,
So-
that is something that will need to be posted.
That's just why I was asking. I just wanted to know if we were gonna post that all over, so there's no, well, I didn't see a speed limit.
Probably few strategic places in town would be, but we would need to do at least that. I mean, I imagine they probably you might need to look into that about how many places we would actually need to post that to make it enforceable.
Yeah,
That'd
yeah, I
be-
could look into that.
Okay.
Well, if each street has at least one sign, I would think that's probably in each direction, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think we got to do every block or anything like that. I mean, there's a 20 mile per hour sign right here. You know what I mean? As far as the beginning of this street, so I mean, you
Yeah.
just make sure.
Sign up there by the park and a sign down here. and-
Right. And
But,
There is one up there.
Huh?
There is one up there, right? Mary Ann's yard, there's a 20-mile-an-hour sign.
then there's going to be one put on
West
Patty
High.
Street, so we can slow those guys down.
Yeah,
So-
cause I know they drag strips the time. It's crazy.
Well, it's regular 50.
It's a country road basically, so it's 55 miles an hour.
If you put the signs right in the middle of the road, that probably
Right, right.
I don't know, I had signs in the middle of the road, cones in
Yeah.
the middle of the road out on County Line Road.
And they run, yep,
About a month ago,
drive
they
around 'em.
drove right between the two of them.
right, right.
I don't know, Rick, I seen the second buggy run this stop sign out here, so.
One place you do have a problem is this block right here. Because they're coming off of 30-mile-an-hour speeds. Coming this
Oh, I
way.
know, I know.
And
There's,
it's not 20 most of it until it's down the block.
right, I know. I mean, we're trying to do the best we can. We're trying to keep adding to it as far as that goes or whatever. I mean, besides us getting a town cop, there's not, I mean, we're just trying to do the best we can.
What
As
you're
far
doing
as
is
that
right.
goes.
What you're doing is right.
So-
I agree. That's
I'm just wondering, do you have a plan on where you're actually gonna start signs and how many and?
We're going to have to get into that. We've got plenty of things to do as far as that
So
goes. And
that's
I
the-
mean,
that's something we're gonna have to work
yeah.
on. And
We
And
gotta
that's
go
what-
back to the county first.
I would think we definitely would need to want one right here where 19 turns. That would be something right
Well, I
off
know I
the bat.
missed a couple meetings, but did you guys get any further with your speed sign that, you know, they have,
the flashing
all over.
ones, no, we just put the stop sign in is
or,
what
you
we
know,
did.
they have the thank you once you hit the right
Yeah.
speed limit or slow down, you're
Well, yeah, there's one of those down in Minton.
going, you know, fast. I I didn't know if there was any more talk on those.
We haven't. Just the stop sign is all that's been done on this street, and it has slowed the traffic down. But there still is probably 2 or 3 cars a day blow right through that stop sign, and I think it's
And buggies.
and buggies. As far as that goes,
Well, they've got
and
4 brakes.
I think a lot of it's probably it's people that have drove the street for a long time and they're just not used to it. I drove through it once, you know what I mean, on accident, just habit. Patty's drove through it, you know what I mean, as far as on accident. So I mean, it's happened as far as that goes.
Yeah.
But we're trying.
So
So
we get it. I mean,
Patty who?
I think it's a good idea for sure. I just wasn't sure. Maybe you guys talk more about those speed limit signs, you know, to add those.
I'd still
to
like to
it,
get them
especially
sometime.
on some of these
Right.
roads that get frequented by, you know, some
Right.
draggers.
What was the price on those?
6,800 for 2 of them. 68 for 2 of them. 68.
6,800.
$6,800, yeah.
That was from Amazon. Or?
That's 2 of them.
Not blow up signs.
Right.
That's just 2 of them, and then we'd have to decide where those would go.
So, I do have one question with that to add. I know the sheriff's department puts them up in Warsaw all over. Have we ever asked them if they would place any here?
I'm not
just as a
sure on
trial
that
run?
one yet.
I asked them about that portable one they
Yeah.
used to have on a trailer and they got rid of it.
Because I know they put some up on
Right.
Fox Farm Road actually, not too long ago, and they attached it to a sign. And I mean, I didn't know if we asked them since we have.
Right. We need to do more, as far as talking to them about stuff or whatever,
Maybe
as far as
they would
that.
let us use one or a couple, or
Maybe they'd put something on Old 30 that since that's county road. That
who knows?
Or just
Just
buy an old junk
suggestion.
car and paint it up like a squad car and put it over across the street over
I
here.
tell you
I
what,
mean,
they probably
I've
could.
seen that in plenty of other places.
Yes.
too.
Yep. Yes.
one that runs so we can move it around a little bit.
I've got a forklift. We can move it.
That's right.
Those signs are portable.
Yeah. I mean, they're
You
great.
can move them
They-
around.
They do a good job, but I mean, $6,800 is
That's a lot of money.
that's steep.
I think
Yep.
we need to tell the sheriff's department to start writing $150 tickets, and we'll put it into a fund
Fund.
for the lights.
There you go.
So
You could probably get that. I bet in 3 months with all the people that blow these stop signs.
right, if they would write the tickets.
I don't know how many county officers we have working, like, for
Right.
town in general, but they're not all gonna be on the same page,
No.
and they're not all gonna be like, oh yeah, I wanna do this. It's
Right.
gonna be
Right.
the next cop that comes in, if they're constantly moving in and out of the county or whatever, they don't like it, they're not gonna come in here and be like, oh, I don't wanna do that.
Correct.
They're gonna have officers across the board, so until they're all on the same page, I don't think that it's gonna be beneficial for like the town as a whole. You can post it there, but they're just gonna
Right.
put somebody else.
Yeah.
So can we go ahead and move forward and vote on this?
Yeah, you could close the public meeting and then make a motion.
Okay, we're gonna close this public meeting.
I make a motion that we change speed limits throughout the town streets to 20 miles an hour and the park streets to 10 miles.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You guys have a copy to sign?
This is the one you want signed here.
Yeah, that's fine. Either one's okay. They're the same.
You gonna
Got it
keep
down
that?
there.
You want both of them?
Just
one.
one.
Needs to be
Okay.
signed.
Are you gonna keep that one then,
Yes.
or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I should have just said ordinance 2502.
Patty, I need a copy of that signed ordinance to take to the county because they have to take to the county commissioners. Please.
So do you need to sign?
In fact, yeah, if you just want to sign this
We
one.
just sign, then we won't
Okay.
have to make a copy of it. You have originals. Pass this one.
Piece of paper.
That's 02.
Yes.
Okay.
Sign that, and that goes to Susan.
Okay.
this one goes to you, right? There you go. Jeez, I didn't get one. Okay, is that all we have for ordinances and resolutions?
Just one other thing I would note, this has been talked about at some other meetings, but the council has not yet passed a salary ordinance for 2025.
Mhm.
So that's something that still needs to occur. For towns, there's not a statutory deadline that you have to do it by, but you do have to do it every year. And the State Board of Accounts recommends that it be done before the end of the year, which we're past already. So that's just something for you guys to be aware of.
I think there's some discussion on that as far as that goes, and went back to the health insurance and all that, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
So, I
that was talked
mean,
about.
And there was, I mean, as far as our cleaning lady's been here for over 3 months, and her raise wasn't in there as far as that goes. And like I said, there's other things to discuss in there, so I don't know if we want to bring that up and talk about the insurance as far as what we're doing with that new insurance, or
That's up to you. The ordinance could talk about both of them, or I suppose if you wanted to separate out the insurance question from just the base pay that everybody gets. If there's still discussion about insurance, you could do an ordinance that just talks about base pay, and you guys could pass that.
Do you want me to read this
what do you got?
from the State Board of Accounts?
Go right ahead. Is that about the insurance, or
Yep.
what is that? Go
Yep.
ahead and read it if you have some
Okay.
more information for us.
This is from the State Board of Accounts about insurance. I talked to Mitch Wilson. He's the Government Technical Assistant and Compliance Director down there. And when I talked to him and explained the situation, we're trying to cut costs of the insurance because it's so expensive. And he talked to their lawyer and the director of the State Board of Accounting down there. And this is what he sent back. I told him I needed it in writing. He called me, but I said I wanted it in writing. He says, however, in regards to the question posed about the town potentially purchasing an individual health insurance plan for the clerk treasurer, we did not see anything in statute that specifically allows for this. Indiana Code 5108.2.6 does reference that a municipality can purchase group insurance for employees, but it does not reference individual plans. Thus, our recommendation is to pay the clerk treasurer a health insurance stipend. Now, that would fall under the salary ordinance. That would be listed. An amount, and would then purchase the individual health insurance on their own separate from the town. In order to go this route, you would simply want to amend the salary ordinance to include the health insurance stipend for the clerk treasurer. If in the future, for some reason, council elects to no longer pay the stipend, the salary ordinance can simply be amended to remove the stipend. If you have any further questions, just let me know. So we've got it in writing that they said you can do it. It's just a roundabout way of doing it. So, and I sent that to you too.
Mm-hmm.
So you've read that then, and everything looks fine as far as that goes?
Yeah, that's all square. I've researched it on my own, and that's all square with everything that I've seen as well.
Okay.
The position that the State Board of Accounts has taken, it seems to be a newer one. I think in the past they would let municipalities pay for individual plans, and more recently they're saying we don't want you to do that. We think you should just either have a group insurance plan or give stipends to people to go buy their own insurance.
Okay.
Is that where Syracuse got into trouble? Was it something
There's a
on that
lot
order?
there, but I think that's a part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the route that my last company that I worked for.
Okay. So what we need to do to move on that then?
I think Susie was doing some research on amounts for what that stipend would be based on talking to an
Yeah,
insurance person.
Let's see my
Yes.
notes here.
If Patty is going to be the one that's going to have to go out and find the insurance, and Richard that is going to match that, I would think that they would need to find what would be comparable, and they should bring it to us, and they let us know what they can
Well,
find.
I already did that through Health Markets. They gave me an estimate of $146 a month for Patty and $147 a month for Richard. So if I figured right, that's about $26,000 in savings. Yep.
Does that mean that the way we've been doing it, is what you're saying, the way we've been doing it, the town paying for single healthcare is not kosher?
Well, right now it's a group plan.
It's
It's a group plan.
It's very expensive.
each way is considered okay by the State Board of Accounts, but it's one or the other.
Group plans are based on age, and these plans are grouped on income.
So what do we not changing it, what do we have a group
plan company or?
Yes, right now we're on group plan. That's what we've been trying to figure out what we want to do with maintaining the same coverage of insurance what we can do at the.
So
I would
what
do.
they're saying is give the employees money and then the employees can get their own. Correct.
I would do. I would still think that we ought to give them a chance to go out and see if they can actually buy something for that they can take to whoever it is that the insurance representative that the and the in reality find out what that it comes from them what they will have to pay to get back with us on that. I think that we ought to give them a chance in case there's some kind there's always a chance of discrepancies of what they will tell you and when you go out and actually
That
buy.
amount I quoted, that 146 and 147, is health, dental, vision, and a life insurance policy.
Monthly, weekly?
Monthly.
What was that figure again, Susan?
146 for Patty and 147 for Richard. That's a month.
That's cheap.
What do you think?
I mean, I sort of want to be on that plan.
You
so,
want to check out first?
So,
well, I'm more. Here's my thing is.
Richard, you want to check out for yourself where you can go to get that, and if that will cover it, and come back to our next meeting with it. Would you want to go out to the marketplace and find if you can actually get it for that and come get back with us
He doesn't want to mess with it. I know his answer right now. He wants it done for
My
him.
life is already done.
Okay. Well, Patty needs to do that. So I think we need to give her the opportunity.
Right. Well, let's take
That's
in.
why I went to health markets, because
Yeah.
they cover a bunch of different companies.
Yeah.
We can table
So-
this for another month.
Paying
That's
more than that for a week. That's what I was gonna say. I mean, I was paying over that for a
right.
week.
Right. That's what I'm saying. What I would like to see with this is that we bring the cost down as far as that goes, so that we're not paying these monstrous, prices for this insurance, and that we also might actually have the opportunity to maybe some of our part-time employees that don't have health insurance, maybe to take and maybe help them out a little bit instead of spending a ton of money for just two people. You know what I mean? Where maybe, because I mean, in all reality, we can actually give every one of us here health insurance can be put on this plan.
I
As
was
far as
told
that
that
goes.
20 years ago.
I know we can.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. So if we can
Yeah.
do this cheap, if we can cover everyone at a better cost, and it's saving the taxpayers in this town money, that's where I want to see this go. I still want to make sure everybody has good care as far as that goes. But like I said, we can't. The amount of money that we're paying right now is ridiculous, and we got other costs coming up with all of our other stuff that needs to be addressed. So we need to do something with this. So I agree with you. If you want to give Patty another month to take a look at this, as far as that, and we can go ahead and let's vote on it next month then, and let's make something happen on this. Let's just go ahead and table it. Make a motion. We'll table this for today, and we will talk about it next month as far as that, and we will try and move forward with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Agreeable.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's also take a look at the salary ordinance as far as that goes. Like I made the comment, our cleaning girl has been here for, over 6 months or whatever. As far as that, I seen that she didn't get a raise in the last one. I'd like to see the actual salary ordinance as far as that goes.
I gave it to all of you. I'm just waiting for wordage.
For wordage,
On-
okay.
on-
So
I don't have it.
I don't know. You pulled the one that we had that we wanted to vote on. You took back. I
don't
have
have it.
last year's salary ordinance, but I don't have this year's salary ordinance. So I need a copy of that.
Okay.
So we need to do that over this next month. We need to get that straightened away too.
Okay.
As far as
well,
what we're
then
gonna
I
do.
should have it in my drawer. I'll have it in
Okay.
your basket.
All right. Well, like I said, I haven't seen it since the meeting that you presented
Okay.
it, and then you took it back. So, like I said, I think we should all be able to look at it. Let's discuss it, and we can go from there on that.
That sounds good.
Okay. So does that finish off everything as far as the ordinances and resolutions?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now we're gonna move to. Does anybody have any other questions? I didn't mean to cut everybody short, but Okay. We're gonna move on to fire and township business.
I don't have much fireside. The only thing I've really got to say is it seems like it's getting plowed now whenever it snows. So I don't know if you're doing that. If you are, thank you very much. I know we've hit it a couple times. You know, just some of us guys when we have a minute.
Right.
But thank you for getting us taken
If
care
there's
of.
an issue or you want something done different,
No,
Okay.
and how you've been plowing, it's been working real well. The big thing is just making sure that the front pad and back pad are, all the snow is removed as best as you can, and if there's any kind of ice. If we get salt and sand, if we
Right.
could hit
He's
that,
got salt and sand on the red
because
truck.
I'm gonna
So
tell you, today we had to go to an unresponsive, and that back side where the alley is, I mean, we needed ice.
oh, we were on the north of a building yesterday at J&J Meats, and it was solid ice.
Yeah.
So I know exactly. I was
So it
dancing.
still
So
is. So I didn't know if the town would be willing to help us out with that,
with
salting that if needed. Like if there's
If
ice
needed,
on
you'd
it,
let
or
Richard
there
or me
could be a
know.
Development of ice,
Right.
because it's gonna suck if we try to go to an emergency call and somebody gets hurt. Because
Right. Nope, I
I hate
agree.
to say it, but if that person gets hurt, we're gonna have to respond to that person before
Right.
we can respond to
Nope, I
anybody else.
completely agree. Like I said, get a
So-
hold of me or get a hold of Richard, one or the other, and we'll make sure.
But thank you guys very much for taking care of it. I don't, but I can get that from you after. So, but yeah, other than that, I don't have much. I mean,
Okay.
other than one other thing is the roof is leaking real bad again in that same spot. I don't know. I know we had somebody go up there and look in the past,
Right.
but it's bad enough now to where our
You gotta-
wallpaper's peeling back off the walls
Okay.
in the hallway. So, anytime you guys want to go in there, you're more than welcome to go in there. Call me, I'll give you a code,
Okay.
or if you want me to meet you,
Take a shower.
Didn't I?
Okay. But I'll
Don't
tell
I
you,
remember-
the last good hard rain we had, I mean, it was like somebody turned the faucet on. So-
Wasn't there something that the said that one of the contractors that looked at it said that it's going through the masonry, the big thing of going through the tower of the
Yeah,
That
so
dude.
last I knew, they were supposed to tuck point a lot of that stuff and try to get it all repaired, and then they
Yeah.
were looking at the roof itself to get spots on that repaired.
Nothing. I don't think I haven't heard
I'll-
anything in
I'll
a.
be
I haven't
honest.
heard
There's
anything in a
nobody that
year.
wants to tuck point it.
Nobody wants.
Nobody.
Well, that's the problem with a lot of our contractors. Is you start talking to contractors, hey, you want to do this job? Nope, not interested.
Well,
Nope, not interested.
they give
So-
a estimate for it and then they nope, we can't do it, we don't have time for it.
Right.
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring it to your attention, so
Right.
the building doesn't disintegrate.
Does that roof
or
got stone on
degrade
it still?
anymore.
Does it have stone on it?
Where are you meaning?
Does it
On
have
the
stone
top?
on top of the roof?
Don't think it does.
Does it have?
I
Is it a
think- I
rubber
think
roof
it's
then?
It's a-
membrane
yeah,
roof.
yeah,
It's a
it's a-
membrane
yes.
roof. Okay.
Yeah, but
It's
we,
been a
yeah,
minute
we'd
since
put a
I've
rubber
been on
roof
top
on.
of it, but I believe last time I went out there, it's a membrane.
Membrane
Well, it
roof.
should be pretty easy to see where it's leaking then, and if it's leaking through the stone, that's going to be a different contractor than a roofing contractor. As far is it leaking by the actual tower that's stone,
It's
where the
I
hose
mean,
rack's
where,
at?
Where we have the actual hole in the ceiling tile, it's right in front where the front glass door is. If you look in there, we got a 5-gallon bucket. in
So
the
you
middle.
are keeping track of that as far as
And
trying
the-
to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing
okay.
is, I know that it leaks through the masonry like that can be, it doesn't necessarily go straight down, it can travel
Oh, it does.
and
I
that
do a lot of
the-
roof
but
work.
it's
Yes,
all-
it does. It
all
does.
up there in the front area where the tower's at, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna complain too much about that. We have drains for that up there,
But
but
still,
Right.
it's
It needs to be addressed. It's going
it
to get
does.
worse. It's
but
going to
the
get worse.
problem is, I mean, as everybody knows, all that brickwork on the front,
It's shot.
it is.
I know.
I mean, it's falling apart.
So,
So
because water's getting in and
we
freezing.
might have to
and-
look at some hard numbers on either pulling all that off and refacing it, or trying to find somebody that's actually going to do tough work.
right. Well, every winter that stuff just gets worse
Yes.
because it gets water in it,
You're gonna have to
freezes.
replace some of that brick.
And I know, I
At
think
one end.
last time when we all talked about that, just on the one side, it'd be the southwest side, just to do that corner was something astronomical.
Right. It might be cheaper to rip it off.
Because
So-
those bricks are destroyed, that they've got to be replaced. Has anybody looked at
And
possibly
one guy
doing
gave us a
something
quote
else
just
for a
covered
siding
brick.
rather than the bricks?
That I don't know.
because
we kind of presented it to everybody
Right.
here, and then
Well, I
mean,
think Susie's the last one that got quotes on that.
I think
It's,
it was
uh,
7,800 to fix the brick,
it was something like that. I know.
but
Yeah.
it was like
pretty expensive.
6,800 to, or maybe a little bit more than that. I can't remember what it was
I think
to
maybe
cover the brick. So
to cover the brick
Mhm.
because that would be I would think be with all the problems we're having because I understand that the wrong mortar was basically used in putting the bricks in that it's getting old.
I get it, Keith. I can't
But
fault
it-
somebody that
oh, I know.
donated
Right.
all
But
of
it's
it.
but it might but what I'm saying is it might be better just to move on to seal that off rather than trying to replace it and get it back there with the same thing. Maybe we need to just
And
seal
I'm
it
gonna
over,
leave that up to you.
and
You
and that way
counsel, so-
it would
We've
maybe
been
last
proposing.
longer.
We've been. Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have to figure out who and start looking at some other options.
I mean, we worked together just fine on getting the building painted. I think it come out real nice.
Right.
And I would just like to continue that, unless
Yeah.
you think it's like an old style.
You got 2 extra.
Thank
Right,
you.
there we go. We're gonna
might
get you
need
some
somebody
extra
to
buckets.
empty 'em once in a while if you're
Right.
available.
Well, those two are retired back
We can
there,
get you-
so
we can get you a set of bunker gear if they can want to sit in there longer.
I still have that bunker gear.
So, but
Okay.
thank you guys. So just let me know if you need
Yeah,
in the
we're-
building or anything
Okay.
like that, and we'll make sure that you guys have access. Anytime.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's move on to attorney business.
I've got nothing. We've covered it all.
We've covered it all.
We've
Did
covered.
you? How's the walls thing going? Is that going all right?
Yeah, I got the revised stuff from IMPA, and I incorporated that with the stuff that their attorney wanted to be changed, and then I sent that to their attorney, so it's with her now.
Okay. Okay. So, have you guys had a chance to look at any of that yet?
Yeah, we'll probably be going to attorney assignment this week sometime.
That sounds like an awesome deal right there. Awesome. That's good to hear. Thank you very much. I guess we're gonna move on to new business. I guess Amy's not here. She is gonna be really late tonight. So I don't know if she's gonna make it at all. Do we have a representative here from Republic? I don't see one. Okay. And like I said, we're waiting on Amy as far as that goes. Jason left. So okay. Well, I am going to step in with some IDEM stuff. We got fined again for the plant out here, or we didn't get fined. We got popped as far as we're unsatisfactory on the facility and the site. We are unsatisfactory on flow measurement, which I have a quote here. The thing that we were discussing before was the flow meter and stuff like that. So I have a quote here to replace that flow meter as far as that, and we need to do something with that. We can't obsolete that part because in 2026 every sewer plant has to have that as far as that goes. So we're going to have to buy it one way or the other as far as that. And I just want everybody here in town to be aware that we have a lot of repairs and stuff that we're working with Commonwealth on. And I just want to make sure, maybe hint, ink free news here, that that sewer plant needs a lot of work. You know what I mean? And I need everybody here in town to understand that we're going to have bills like this coming, and it's not going to stop until we actually get a bunch of that facility redone. Everything out there's been band-aided for years. All the band-aids are peeling off right now. So IDEM's not happy with us. I called and talked to Lynn as far as that goes and trying to smooth it over. And I'm like, hey, anytime you want, you come talk to me. We're working on it. We're working with Commonwealth, so we're trying to get stuff taken care of out there. And they think that the plant needs completely rebuilt, and we're working on making some improvements out there.
If I can give you an update on that too. We did look at the NPDS permit. That influent flow meter is part of the process. You would have to petition IDEM to have that influent flow meter removed.
Right.
So at this point in time, your best option would be to replace it, because it's going to be fairly expensive to petition IDEM to get this removed. And basically, in the end, they're requiring all flow meters with miners, which you guys are, being put in. So the chances of you guys getting that completely removed is pretty minimal.
It's not going to happen. We just need to put it in and be done with it.
Mhm.
So, and I have, like I said,
Now we just gotta find one that'll actually work.
well, if this one costs that much, it better work or we're sending it back.
Hey,
So,
hey, Nick,
as far as that goes, can I have that back or do you need that?
It's on the back of your report also.
Okay. Oh, it is on there?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the last page of your report.
Rick's got a question.
Go ahead.
How much was that for you?
The finished price is $10,240. $3,300 of it is installation, programming, calibration. As far as that goes, is what that is. So,
That sounds fair.
well, it is. And see, the other thing, I mean, I went ahead as far as we have the main lift station. The control panel's being rebuilt by D&D right now, so I just authorized that because we had to get that done as far as that goes because it's hot wired at the moment. So that is in process right now. We need to move forward on this one here as far as that goes.
What?
It's
It's
what?
hot wired?
Oh, you didn't hear me say that. Yeah, don't put that in your thing either. It's not proper. Let's just put it
Okay.
that way. It
It's-
works.
it's
It
being
works.
it's being improved.
We're working on it. We're working on it. D&D is going to build us a new bank for it as far as that, with the
So you
controls and stuff
probably
like
got
that.
Austin and all them out there.
Yeah,
D&D.
not sure on. Yeah,
I use them a lot with
Right,
my
right.
wastewater and stuff.
So that's
So
the IDEM stuff that I wanted to talk about. So we do need to move forward with this one here.
do we
So-
want to look for any other estimates for the flow meters, or do we want to just go with that, or that?
Me and Chris have talked about this. I mean, this is right in the ballpark as far as, and I guess I
We
have another
looked
one.
at USA Blue Book, and that was like the catalog Walmart of wastewater equipment. And that price wasn't that different when we looked at
This
it.
is only 66, almost $7,000 for the actual unit. The other part is the installation, the
And
calibration.
calibration.
And I mean, we've
And-
got Kevin sitting here. I mean, you see
We've
this
got
stuff.
flow meters all over the city of Warsaw. That's a fair price.
But
Okay.
that's that one will fit into our plan out there. without
That's
any problem.
probably part of the installation. Is it's
Yeah.
going to be retrofit
Okay.
into
But if
it.
it's over $5,000, don't we have to have 3 quotes, or is that sufficient to look online?
This is our
and gauge
contractor.
it?
I mean, that works
Yeah.
for us. So I mean,
Well,
this is their.
But still, there
Just
is
so
a
we're legit.
on the state
Yeah.
board of accounts it requires.
Yeah, I think with something of that amount, you have to try to get the quotes, even if people are not responsive. You're supposed to reach out and try to get them. So if you wanted to move on it today, somebody could make a motion, say that you're gonna reach out to 2 other companies, see if they can.
I'm assuming that Ashbury has already done that,
Okay.
and we don't have a representative here for them as far as that goes. And I mean, I know we got 2 different quotes on the panel box out here for the lift station, and D&D was like the 10 grand, and the other 2 were like 22,000 or something like that or whatever. So I'm pretty sure that Ashbury is already shopping around before they're sending us this here.
Can we
As
go with
far
an
as that,
assumption
so-
like that, or do
I'm
we need a qualification
good
from them
question.
that they did do
Can
that?
you declare an emergency
I-
and make it under emergency purchase? Since
Couldn't we
IDEM was
just,
over you.
we've been-
couldn't we just
Mm.
get USA Blue Book's price, and who else did you say? Their price, and that would be the 3 quotes that we need?
Yeah.
I
It's
just
a
know that in
Amazon.
a
Go
former
to Amazon,
position,
print something
if
off.
we had something come up, I could have the board declare an emergency, and, cause you didn't have time to get 3 quotes, you can go ahead and make the purchase done under emergency.
Right. This is starting to go back to. I mean, I completely understand the 3 quotes as far as that goes or whatever. We ordered a pump 6 months ago and we just got it.
Yeah.
So I think we're starting to play with fire here
It's like
when we
with the-
start when we start taking and like putting this stuff. Oh, let's put it off another month. Let's put it off another month.
It's like with the generators, when we
I'm not
ordered
saying
them, it
that.
took
I'm
us like a
saying,
year and a
can't
half
those
to get them.
quotes from USA
That,
Blue Book be the the pricing from USA Blue Book, can't that be the quote?
Yeah, I would say you
And
could
then we
you could
can
treat
move
that
on
like
that.
one.
Yeah.
But was
Well,
there another website that you
can we-
checked?
Yeah, you stated another.
Can we
website.
declare it an emergency to have this done because we're getting nicked for it?
We're getting nicked for it. There's right
Yeah.
here's the.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say it's an emergency and let's fix it.
Yeah.
There's only
That
so
they-
long
then
IDEM's gonna
I-
let you do something.
I'd like to
Right.
make a motion that we be on an emergency basis that we need
Oh, I
to
know.
go with the Asbury's the quote on the inflow meter replacement.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I will take care of this tomorrow and I will call Ashbury.
Are you guys gonna set up a calibration schedule for that?
That's their deal, not ours.
I'm saying, that would be prudent to do, yeah.
That's-
Is, yeah.
And we did take in, when I was talking to Ashbury and Zach and Josh, as far as we're put on a program for yearly maintenance now with, what's the company we use? Patty, you know the name. Works
Utility
on the
supply
well,
company?
works on the well.
Oh,
Peerless Midwest,
Peerless,
yes.
yeah.
So
They're very
we're on a
good.
schedule now with them to do the service every year, as far as for them to service both of our wells, as far as that goes. So it was like $250 a year to put us on the program. So we're on that program now, as far as that goes.
Fearless does that every
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that is that one there. Amy showed up finally, so let's hear from Amy since she made it.
Yeah.
Make her
You
work a
gonna
lot
take
of
it?
time for making it here.
Sydney, 35 minutes or whatever from here, so,
Were you speaking?
I was trying not to.
Sounds good to me.
No guarantees, so. Been working with, Susie to, get the Etna Green mural, project moving forward, so I believe, and I was just thinking, I don't think we heard back from Corey whether it's the 17th or 18th that we're meeting, right?
I got on the calendar the 17th,
I
but
had it on the calendar for the 17th, but I had a question that she may have something with the kids, so we need to clarify that, but.
Okay.
She and I will be moving forward with, the grants that we discovered and moving forward to, making those applications, as you guys had actually suggested that, or voted last time that she was capable of doing, so, do I need anything from you for that? Or just make sure you have a copy of it?
just make sure I have a copy of
Okay.
it.
We will promise to do that, so.
Okay.
Yeah, cause I think it's we have, one for the Tourism Commission, one for, All Things Art from Kedco, and then we have one, for Family Express that we're gonna put in, see if they'll give us money. And I think that was just 3 of them that we were gonna do.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, working really well, so. And then Heath and I had some conversations, earlier and, trying to get the stuff for the, parks together.
I have some of that right here.
Yeah, so, had a really great conversation as a point of reference. Your name got brought up, all of you, at the county parks board meeting. They're very excited to hear that you're looking, forward to doing some park improvements, potentially some trails. So I had been requested to connect Heath to the president, and hopefully that was okay. I did do that. And so that brings it to a point of reference, as well as something that I was kind of thinking about is, I wonder if it would be acceptable for the town board to make Heath the representative and allow him that latitude that we've allowed Susie to work on that if he needs to, so that if there's some quick decisions that need to be made regarding the park stuff, that he would have the ability to do that, as Susie
Would
has
you
that.
be
So
willing to
obviously
take
that's your
that on?
decision.
I've already donated all the engineering and the design for all this right here. So yeah, I'm moving forward with this. I want to see this money utilized. I want to see that we get more grants like this. You know what I mean? As far as that goes, we have the one for $18,000 that is involved with this, and if we don't get the trigger pulled on this, we're gonna lose that one.
I'll make a motion that we make you the representative to the county and for making the quick decisions that can't wait for board meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I think that will help just as we're navigating some of those things, because I am working with the park board, and so having you in contact is easier. Not that I'm trying to, we want to make sure we do this legally, but it just makes it in some ways faster. The other question that I had, Nick, regarding the bids, quotes, was, and I think this young man over here, to the far left alluded to this. If there is a situation in which they have done their due diligence to try to get 3 quotes, or 3 bids, whatever, and they are not able to do that, that does not hold up the process, correct? They just have to show the due diligence that they actually indeed went forth and made
Right.
that happen.
Yeah.
Is there a specific due diligence activity that they have to show?
Well, it depends on the dollar amount for the job. I think the higher the dollar amount is, the longer you theoretically have to wait to get a response. But I think even for the big, expensive jobs that are several hundreds of thousands of dollars, I think the waiting period is fairly short, like 7 to 14 days.
Okay, because that was the question that I had when after a conversation I had with Keith, because he has two quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we have to move forward quickly on something, then I thought,
Especially if there's deadlines on
yes,
losing
that's
money
what
and
my
all
fear
that.
was. Is like
That gets to be the emergency status. And this is all okay that we make him the representative for this.
Yeah, you made the motion. I don't know if the motion was
She
passed
seconded
and
it.
whatnot. Okay.
Yeah.
She
So, yeah.
seconded. I said all in favor. I said aye even so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Patty's
missed
got
all
it on
that.
recording. Oh, it's right
I've
here. It's
got it
right in
all
that little
right
thing there
here.
too. So
Yeah, that's all fine and well.
Okay.
What's the dollar amount going to be for this? That the town would.
Okay, what we're looking at is the K21 Foundation. That one is $200,000 grant as far as that. The other one that is with she knows Community Foundations. That one is like 18,000 something, 18,500 or something. That one has to be spent by I think it's June.
July or June, yeah.
June or July. That one has to be spent. Okay, but that
Be
money
used
can
for prep work and what all.
no,
Actually,
that is a
so
real
that's-
touchy one.
Oh.
It has to go along with this. And so we can use it for park benches, we can use it for lighting, we can use it for flowers, we can use it for, but it all has to go along with this. So this project has to be underway so that I can pull the trigger on that grant and buy all that stuff so that it's sitting here ready,
Okay.
even if this one's not done yet.
Okay.
But it has to
can't
be
used. It can't be used like for grading or for.
nope.
For,
And honestly, I've gotten these two quotes back or whatever as far as that. I just got the last one here today. Susie's reached out to these contractors as far as I gave her the paperwork and then she ran with it and she got quotes. So I want to thank her for doing that legwork as far as that goes. This is right now what we're talking about is for everything that is in yellow here. And the one quote is $122,000. The other one is $163,000.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. So I want to move forward with this cheaper one as far as that. But now that I have like a baseline of what we can spend and what we can do, I want to take and I'm going to have my guy at the shop redraw this as far as that goes. I want to come in here and I was trying to like, if we quote this and can't afford it, we only do one.
Can you put it up,
I can,
please? Thank
Be
you.
the band away for a second.
All right, yeah, here we
Thank
go.
you very much.
But anyways, what I would like to do now, since I know we can afford this part, so we're going to have a full walking path along the road as far as that. Now what I want to do is I want to come in over here on this sidewalk, and I want to put another section in and bring it up and around over here, and then tie it in here so that we have two loops basically for people to walk. But the other thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and add, and I don't know if I can do it with this grant or whether it comes out of town money, but I want to run a path to this pavilion and over to the bathrooms so that we're handicapped accessible for anybody in all these events and stuff like that happen here in town. So I want to go ahead and move forward with, like I said, with the Niblock quote, because I mean, we've got money now, so I want to get them to quote adding this in as an addition. Adding the walkways in as far as that, even if we pay for it as far as that goes. The other little one that we have over here is we can't pave across this gravel driveway, so we're going to have to pave this, and that's going to have to come out of town money too also, as far as that goes.
Do we have
So-
money for that?
Why can we not pave across the driveway?
We're going to have potholes on both sides of it because it's gravel.
Yeah, but we don't use that driveway that much, do we?
No, but it's an
It's-
improvement.
it-
It's an improvement for the town, and I
It's-
want it to be.
When you go in there to take water readings and work on the well, it can be a weekly to daily.
That
The
driveway
path.
gets used daily.
Daily,
Yeah.
yes, daily.
So it's
I just
So
don't want to see
so it does get
potholes
used often.
on both sides of our brand new, because then it's going to start breaking the edges of the walkway.
My dog doesn't weigh that much, so when we go around that.
Your dog is going to love this, Rick.
But
We do that path every day, so.
And
He's
there's,
gonna like
don't
it.
forget the third funding source as you're looking at that, because that's
Yes.
the ORI funding that they potentially we'll have released in April, maybe. I don't
This
know.
year?
They're talking about it. We don't know for sure. So, but at some point, the grant application process will open, and whoever is grant ready will be able to apply for that money first. And it's a 50-50 match. So I believe that, I don't remember what it's up to right now, but so we had talked about that last time, but we've talked about a lot. So I just wanted to say it out loud again, that this could be a third funding source that is specifically for quality of life or place projects.
That's
so like
something-
park
would-
improvement
Would
or
we be able to
trails.
use this money as the 50, as our 50%
I
for,
don't know.
for matching?
We had kind of talked to, that would have to be a discussion with the,
Right.
but it could be. I mean, I don't know. We'd have to talk to I think K-21, so Rich, who was here, is the one,
Mhm.
his organization is gonna be managing
That-
that.
I've heard that sometimes that can be done with the,
Chris
one
over
thing
here
I'd
is
like to
nodding
say
his
is that
head yes.
niblock
Well,
Yeah.
is a good,
More
we've
than
had
likely,
good
the
experience with
K-21
niblock.
plans can use
That
this
they,
matching.
so,
We just need to do a little bit
Well,
of exploring here.
Yeah, because they haven't decided. It's the state
Let's quiet down back
the
there.
state that's determining kind of the rules on that. So if that can't be done, they would give extra money, they said, to do
Well,
the match. So
I want to get our base down as far as that goes, and then we need to have discussion on where do we want to put park benches. The other thing we can do is put exercise equipment around this. That's what the K-21
I
wants
was
to see.
wondering where the pickleball court was going.
I don't know. That's something that hasn't been talked about as far as that goes. I
figured
mean,
you could probably add it to the basketball court.
I would like to
Put
say
lights on it.
We don't
Right.
need two basketball
think-
courts.
That's true.
that is it. And so if we can save enough money in here as far as that goes, and we can do some upgrades
I'm
here.
just saying we got to do something to bring people to
Right.
to use in
Well,
the
that's
park.
already paved, so
More
that would
than
just be
just football.
coding.
You know,
But
what I
it's
mean? we
a-
have to start bringing younger people into
Right.
town and give them something to
Does
do with their
pickleball
families.
happen?
And
Low one.
I'm sure that
I do have a question. Hey,
if there was
we're
a-
getting close to that $150,000 threshold. Does the town need to go through a bid process, advertising for bid on this process here? It's just a matter of time associated with getting your specifications.
upgrade
It sounds
to
like you
the,
have everything there,
concession
just
stand.
advertising for bids.
Good idea too.
Yeah,
that was
my
the emails that we were sending back and forth asking that question.
yeah.
This, like you said in your email, this is like in between that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean, as far as that goes. So
It's really murky. We've looked into that. The statutes that talk about the bidding process, they talk about public works, and that has to do with like the kind of project that you're doing, and also the funding source for the project. And it isn't entirely clear if this would fall within that. So he's trying to do his due diligence with reaching out to the contractors and getting the quotes.
I've got these two here. Susie reached out to a third that declined quote. I've called some contractors about this, our well up here. And, hey, you guys want to give me a quote? Nah, we're not interested. You know what I mean? So we're running into, you know what I mean, as far as these are the two biggest, pavers around as far as that goes. So
If you guys get to the point, you think it's gonna be above that threshold.
you're
you
saying
need-
150?
If you need help with a generic bid document, Gail and I'll help you out with that.
Okay. That
We've
sounds
done
like
it for other communities.
okay.
And that way, you guys, it's just a process. You'll have to advertise it twice. And then you obviously will send your specifications to these individuals or
But I'm
these
wanting to
companies.
pull the trigger on this this month.
And that was kind of the question I asked earlier, is that, because he wants to do that, that was the question that we had asked at the last meeting, and
I
then we
mean-
were talking about in the PL, is that, what's the due
Sounds like you've done the due
of town
diligence to
board
get a third,
related to this, what can
Right,
they,
yeah,
what do they
yeah.
have to do, just so that.
and we've
people-
done other projects
It can
like
be under
this
your
with like
advisement.
streets and
Yeah.
all.
Yes.
What's
with
your
the-
question you
with
have, Becky?
two-
Well, I love the idea of like the walking path and stuff like that. I grew up here. I have two tiny children. I love using the park. And I love like the new like little kids area to a point until we get to the summertime when there's wasps that cover that entire area. That you
Yeah.
can't even touch it. And then the baseball diamond that, I mean, we used to play t-ball there growing up. I know everybody's probably had a kid that played there, and it literally looks horrid when you go out there. And I like the addition, like add the trails, add like the workout equipment. The football team is getting a lot of use out of it, so I think that's a good thing. But I think that if we're gonna make all these adjustments, that there needs to be other parts that need to be looked at.
We're doing what we can with the grant money that we can, and there are stipulations with it. So as far as that goes, I want to get the base down as far as that goes, and then I'm all for everybody's ideas and stuff like that or whatever of little things, and we can what I mean as far as adding stuff to it. I mean, we're trying. This money's been sitting for 5 years. You know what I mean, in a closet, and we drug it out. You know what I mean, and we're gonna use it, and we're gonna do something with it.
And this money has to be health and wellness.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stipulations to it.
Right.
What that looks like, what is like
Yeah.
goes in that kind of
Right.
thing, like how, I know a lot of those three between lines situations and stuff like that, so I'm just curious what is encompassed in
Right.
all of that.
Keith had the same question I was going to answer, is that Keith, the reason that 18,000 has to be spent on the thing that we talked about is the specific grant that Etna Green applied for way back then. There was a document in which Etna Green and Patty's like nodding. It was called the Go Forward. It was called the Go Forward grant. It was Forward Kosciuszko. Etna Green, the town board at that time, had put specific identifiable projects, and those projects are the only ones that it could have went towards. And so they submitted an application based on
Or
the
the
project
equipment around the
list.
path.
Yeah, it was actually
That-
landscaping and all of
Right.
that. So
I can-
that's why we asked Alex. Keith and I had met with Alex, and he said
I'd
this
forgotten
is-
about
yeah,
that.
So that was that. But this third funding source is not been accounted for. As long as it goes to health and wellness, you can put it other. You could talk to the young lady and
Right.
put together a
Yeah,
different plan.
and
But
that's
the first
something we can-
two, the first two have rules related to that. So
And if I can say something,
Yes.
I do not have young kids anymore, so I do not know those wasps up there. So get the word out that if you find those wasps up there, we have a person who will come and kill them.
He's right there.
And Richard and I will make sure that they get done.
Hey, I'm gonna run, I've had no problems, no complaints. Like I said, I grew up here, I moved away for 6 years and moved back. I love
We
being
have a
here,
problem
so-
every year with those wasps.
Yeah,
it's a wasp killer.
And if you need a company RS pest
Oh,
control.
we've got shorts.
Right.
Shorts
And
are
they're
great.
local, so.
Well, they seem to move around every year. Beth used to get them in her trash cans behind her house. Every year I had to go spray her trash cans because they would get her every time she came out. So, I mean, they move around. So, I also have to give Chris credit for, he got me the original drawing for this, and then it hasn't been that much fun to work with, but we've gotten this.
Is that supposed to be a compliment?
Well, no, it's like when you cross Google Earth with AutoCAD, they don't like each other. So it wasn't the funnest thing to do. So, okay.
I mean, it sounds like it's gonna be a great addition, so I don't see why there'd be any reason not to do it.
Well, it's gonna be for older kids too, with skateboards and.
Well, and that's the thing
and
that I
adults.
want to
People walking dogs.
make
yeah.
open is that I've seen a lot of parks. I have a dog. We all have dogs as far as that goes or whatever. I want to make it a community park where everybody can do stuff. I don't want it to be no dogs or no kids or no, we can't have cars on it. We can't have golf carts on it, but anything, bicycles, skateboards, you know what I mean? People walking their dogs, it needs to be a friendly thing. If we get people that have mean dogs up there, then we'll have to call or something like that. But same thing, we're going to have to make sure that we have, the bags for people walking their dogs that aren't responsible. We're going to have to put posts on each end of every entrance for it so that people, drunk guy in the middle of the night's not driving the park or something like that. So there's a lot of little things that I got to get this base going. And then there's a lot of little details that are going to have to be added, and they're all going to start adding up. You know what I mean? So, but we got to get the project going so that we can utilize everything that's here that we can use. So, that's what I have.
To Etna Green.
Yeah, no, thanks for,
$5 million.
thank you all for putting the
What?
work in for this, for the
So
town.
if
I
we
know
need another
it's.
quote, Dave and I will do it for $5 million.
There's your third quote.
Okay, all right. There we go.
I'll make sure I put that in the minutes.
But literally, for the record, I have to just have a proud Etna Green moment because we have been working on this for a long time, and it is such a blessing to me to see that these things are moving forward and that the hard work of the individuals, and it started so long ago, but now it's going to be executed. And I think it's really, and all of these people in this room, I walked in here, I was like, wow, Grand Central Station, people actually care and they're coming and they want to be involved, and I think that's so neat. And
Right.
I'm really proud of that green. So just to say that.
Thank
out
you.
loud. And I'm honored to be able to support in this small capacity. So. And Chris
Most of
too.
us just come to the meeting for the fight.
Those don't happen anymore.
Yeah.
Almost like a town
No longer.
game,
No longer. Okay.
Moving on.
Now let's move on to. We're gonna move on to old business. Do we have any old business that needs to be discussed?
I can't think of anything that wanna.
Okay. My stuff was on old business, but then since Amy brought it up, we finished it in new business.
Sorry.
So that stuff is done. Do we have any employee comments, Richard?
We need some more equipment.
Right. That's something. Okay. Me and Richard went out to an emergency call yesterday. As far as there was a truck driver trapped in his truck. There was a hotline laying on top of his truck. We went out and pulled the fuses, shut the power off to the building, lifted the wire up as far as that goes with our pole. Semi driver pulled out from underneath of it. The line was laying on the ground. We cut it. Luckily, the owner of J&J Meats brought us a grinder. He brought us out electrical tape so I could mark the three-phase lines so that I could disconnect it and pull it off to the side of the road. We need some more. We need some better equipment in the truck as far as that goes. So we need to move forward with purchasing some stuff that we have on hand and we have ready for situations. And Kevin, you understand when the emergency situation, it's not funny when, you know what I mean,
No.
as far as that guy was, he couldn't get out of that truck.
No.
You know what I mean? The truck was hot. It burnt a hole in the truck. It burnt the wires. I mean, as
So
far
we're
as
talking about a tool bed on the truck with
we need,
tools
I would
that
like
he
to
would
see,
need?
I would like to see some aluminum toolboxes put on the back of that truck and be organized with the proper tools. As far as that goes.
Was there a journeyman there?
No, there was not. I was on the phone with him the whole time.
But
So
was
But-
fire department ever called to?
fire department was there, ambulance was there, state police were there, and the county was there. We had a show. So
Because
Yeah, that was a
but there wasn't any lineman there during.
no, there doesn't have to.
That, well, that's it. That's.
I was on the
getting-
phone. I've been in enough IMPA meetings and we've
That's-
gone over this. We can't get up and touch anything. The power was shut off. The lines were laying on the ground. So as far as that goes. But anyways, going back to the tools, I just think that we need to allocate some money to put some aluminum toolboxes on that truck and put some better tools in there and to organize it because the back seat of that thing is just a mess.
Something
So-
in the future you might want to reach out to, the Bremen or
We're we're working on it right now.
Argus to have them come that especially Argus that
It's
that
Keith that's in the
Jamie
process.
Lindstrom is the
IMPA's working on it.
It's in the process. IMPA's
Okay.
trying to set up contract stuff with
Yeah.
Argus and with Bremen so that if we have an emergency that is anything worse than that, you know what I mean, that they can send somebody over here.
or even that really even that bad that they should have
Well, we
had
were-
one of them come if they could.
They were on an emergency call in Indianapolis. They had to drive back to Indy to get the wire because we didn't have it in stock,
Mhm.
and then drive back. They got here at 9:30.
Yeah.
So we couldn't leave that truck driver sit in that truck for that
No,
long.
but like for removing the wires and what all for Jamie to come up or one of his people to come up from Argus.
Keith, I was on the phone with him the whole time I was
Yeah.
doing it, and I did the same thing when me and Brian fixed the stuff out at Gulfstream. We were on the phone the whole time, and he was up in the bucket touching wires and this and that. And he's not a lineman either.
Yeah.
So anyways, I just want to make that comment that we need to purchase some more tools, as far as that for these emergency
Make
purposes
sure
and
you
stuff
have
like
your
that.
insulated gloves and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Those, if I
The
remember
power-
right, those are 12.5 line.
Yep, they're hot. But like I said, the whole power was shut off. We pulled all three fuses.
Yeah, if
as
you
far as
pulled the
that goes.
fuses, there
I
shouldn't
mean,
be
it's
anything
no
that you
different
should
than what you guys would do in a fire situation and just shut the power off to the house before you squirt water on it. So. No, it has each individual house here in town and each business here in town has its own fuses, and then there are sectional fuses out throughout the section through the different areas as far as that goes. So you can shut the north section down going north of town out by the Amish out there or whatever. I would like input to install some other ones throughout town here so that if we run into this situation that, like I said, that just in an emergency, we could pull the fuses on it and shut the power off just to one section of town so the whole town doesn't lose power so that we're not waiting extended periods of time as far as for repairs. So, all right, now let's move on to council comments.
I have nothing.
Any other? Okay. And then we're going to, does there anybody else here have any questions, comments, or anything?
Keith, I would like to make a comment on the, right now, the towns, we're working through the income survey. Patty, I think you were with Olivia, and everything seems to be positive moving forward with the income survey.
Just today we got the limit.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. We've been staging here for the CDGB planning grant, Okra CBG planning grant. With that, we need support letters from the residents. Keith, I've had a support letter from you and Patty. I've reached out to Keith and Susan as well. If there's any residents that would like to help form up or provide a support letter. And this would be for a planning grant for the water, wastewater, and stormwater systems here in the community. And the community would be, the next step would be applying for a $90,000 grant to complete those 3 preliminary engineering reviews for the community. And that's really the next phase at looking at grant funding for the community.
Could you make a template letter?
What is that?
Could you make a template letter?
Absolutely.
As to what?
Yes.
And give it to Patty and whoever wants to do that.
We can do that as well. Yes.
Yeah,
That would be helpful.
that would help.
So pass the word around to your fellow residents. Once we get this done, have them come out and get it.
Well, Patty's out putting flags up every morning, so everybody goes by, you can just yell at it.
Well, many of you live in the community. You've dealt with either water issues, wastewater issues, or you've dealt with flooding in the community. And we just want to get your information and get it in a letter that we can submit to Okra for this planning grant.
Okay, I do have one other thing here. I have Rick Bacon sitting back there. There seems to be an ongoing water problem down there when we switch from one well to the other well.
Yes.
As far as that goes, every time this happens, and we do that every week, we switch from one well back to the other well. It completely plugs his water filter at his house.
Well, it turns all of our stuff around.
Every week?
Yes.
I put a filter in Saturday, and by yesterday morning, it was already gone. 2 days.
I mean, so much so, like, I've called and asked her and asked them what the hell's going on.
It's the well part. So
and
I mean, I'm bringing it right out in the open here or whatever as far as that goes. I'm just wondering what we can do to help these residents with their filters.
Rick's is a totally different thing. His should be looped. He should not be at
A dead end.
He needs to be looped in with the rest of it.
So what
every
can
dead
we
end
work
would
with
make
him
sense.
on filters until this situation is taken care of?
Definitely, we have before. All you have to do is motion that we buy him, however many filters you want to buy.
Running it out down 19?
It needs to be looped
It
so
needs
that
to
you're
be
not
looped.
at the so you're not at the end.
Yeah, that is bad to have a dead end. It gives terrible water.
Is that our issue where we're at the house?
No, yours, that's just the way it's going. His is way worse.
When we
That's what
get
I'm
this
trying to
planning
do.
grant,
Right.
that could be something that be evaluated in that grant process.
Okay.
Yeah,
Since we're
so-
doing water, sewer, and storm.
Yeah, you're telling us something that's really odd here. Turning on a well creates a lot of water quality issues. And you do have a filter treatment plant here. Why is that? What's going on here? So there's something we're not seeing as well.
It's been an issue. I mean, I've talked to Patty about it as far as that goes, and I mean, I've only been here a year as far as being on the board and knowing, these little details and stuff or whatever. So I know I've seen the bucketfuls of water that come from his house and stuff like that. So I'm gonna make a motion that we buy, that we pay for these filters, that we let's say we split. Let's do 2 filters a month. Are you fine with that, Rick? As far as that we take and pay for 2 filters a month, until this problem is resolved, because we do know that there's an issue down there
So we
with
can
that
do-
situation pipe.
So we can loop it or do whatever
The
needs
only
to be
reason
done
why I
too.
called was, I mean, I looked in my toilet tank.
I'm getting it.
Sand.
I'm getting it right across the shop.
It has,
You know what I mean?
It hasn't been that way before, just from doing
That's well,
it
the
hasn't
problem.
been like this.
Okay, let me finish this one. So I want to make this motion that the town pays for 2 filters a month for Rick Bacon's water problem until we address the situation.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I can have that.
Yep.
Just go ahead
Just
and.
2 of those a month.
Yeah.
Now that's just because that system, that well hasn't been used. I know.
If you want to bring out the dirty as far as Etna Green and the well goes, the well at, and Chris can explain it better than me. The well at the trailer court has a better water quality than the water out here at the park. But in part of the system is that we have to go back and forth. It's just like our lift, stations
You can't
have.
just use one.
Yeah, you just don't want to run one. Well, we did a study, sort of say, and we just ran just the one at the park for about 2 weeks, and now we've switched back over to it, and it's the problem that we have. You know what I mean? It's just there's more rust in the well at the park than there is at the one at the trailer court. We have a water and sewer problem that we're trying to take care of as far as that, and when we get through all this, we drop
need to
another
get-
well, or I mean,
Do we need to get Peerless in here to take a look at it?
we've
again?
been a hold of Peerless. Peerless has
It
been out.
sounds like it needs to flush out.
Yeah.
That's where
pretty much
PER, when we do
Right.
PER on the water, that should answer a lot of questions.
They're gonna try when the weather clears up. They're gonna take and try. And as far as last I talked to Josh, and they're gonna clean this well. There's 2 valves up there that are bad, so it's in the maintenance schedule as far
Okay.
as that goes.
Well, at least that was plenty.
Because it wasn't that long ago, they redid all the piping down through. I thought they were,
They just
Supposed
changed
to-
the pump.
but they did change out the casings and all. And I thought they were going to go through and do all that too. So if it wasn't done, it needs done.
Right. Anybody else have any other comments?
So I've also been having problems with my water filter clogging. I was assuming it was because of the broken water line on Pearl.
You've got a broken water line. Yeah, that's gonna get addressed. I think next week.
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, as far as that goes. Yes.
Are we gonna have to change our parking situation?
If you wait for tomorrow, that would be very much appreciated.
Okay.
I would like to thank Patty. I was in here a couple weeks ago, told him to eliminate debris on that sign out here in front. She got that taken care of. I'll probably be in next
Good job. Good job, Patty.
She made it warmer?
Oh, Dave.
The next day, what? Are you Mother Nature? I guess.
I appreciate everybody coming tonight, and I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I second that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I give you one of mine.
Okay. I'll sleep this right here.
But I can't, I was gonna say,
Susan, we still have not got your survey. I wonder how many others that.
Chris, I got that
are
paper
lost.
for you.
Yeah, I know, I was sitting there, but we still haven't gotten it through the mail. I wonder how many others we haven't gotten through the mail.
Steve, I want to talk to you too about, would you guys be interested in a phone call agreement?
I'm
Not
like,
to exceed.
I'm just gonna wait and see how long
Play together
it
instead of
takes
just
to get.
I should have just dropped it in the box.
So, like for,
You would think if it
Gail and I's
came
work.
out,
It was on a weekend, so I just,
You paid the mountain money for
I knew you wanted, so I thought, well, I'll just stick it in the mail, don't make sure they have it right away.
So
I
the
know
on-call
she
agreement
mailed it
typically,
because
you can
the
have it
sound
at
of her voice was like,
2,500
why haven't you guys gotten it?
And,
I said,
with
I know.
that, it covers those basic waivers for these guys to cover.
As long as it got done.
Now with that, that
I'll
on-call
shoot you an
agreement,
email, let you know when the
that
actual.
limit is not to exceed, and for some reason you get into a big project and that exceeds that amount, then you come back to the board, that way you guys control the funds. But typically, right now, we got a lot of little incidentals coming in, like, some of the format is like,
Well,
every 6 months.
so we're gonna get the flow meter and set up that we're working through the process here. And she's done this to other communities, and but there again, you know, if we give them a timeline on this process, so Brady can do that for you. And saying, here we are, we're stepping into the income survey's completed, we're working through the planning study, and then that's going to back her off a little bit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this is not this. We didn't get in this situation overnight,
Right.
and it's not going to happen overnight, right?
So you're saying that you're talking about service, $4,000 a year.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So say this letter comes in here, it costs $50 or whatever it is for the guy to write up this letter. You get billed $50, and it goes towards that, say 5,000, and then something.